Thinking back on it, I don't remember Curious George being quite as intense as this was. What up, my Nimians, and welcome back to NimTV. I'm your host, NimTV299, and we're back with another movie review. This time we're reviewing Rampage. I know this movie was out for probably about a month now-ish, or something like that, and I'm finally seeing it now. I wasn't planning on seeing it because I was like, it looks okay, but not great. But I looked and there was no other good movies playing, or movies that I wanted to see playing, other than ones that I had already seen. And I knew my brother wanted to see this movie, and I was like, hey, you want to go see Rampage with me? And he's like, yeah, why not? So there you go. That's why I'm doing it so late. I wasn't going to see it anyways, but I thought, why not? I have Movie Pass. Who cares? So I might as well review it. What did I think of Rampage? I thought Rampage was fine. That's really mostly what I have to say about it. There's nothing amazing about the movie, nothing that makes it a special movie. It's just a movie. Like, the trailers give you basically what you get in the movie, and that's basically it. There's genetic editing of animals that turns them into giant monsters, and they fight in a city. That's what you get out of the movie. That's basically, like, if that's what you want to see in this movie, you get that, and those scenes are fun and everything, so it's fine. Everything else in the movie is just kind of mediocre. Like, it's not necessarily bad, but it's not necessarily good. It's just kind of mediocre movie stuff, just to set up the fight in the city at the end, and that's like, yeah, whatever. I don't know, the creatures, when they were big, looked kind of cool. Like, the giant wolf looked kind of cool. The way that he had, like, spikes on its back and stuff, it was cool. And, the giant crocodile was pretty cool, too. Giant gorilla was giant gorilla. There wasn't anything that made it look different or anything, but it was just kind of cool. Again, it's all kind of cool. The one thing that I will comment on is something that I think was supposed to be one of the big kind of emotional backbone of the movie, which is sort of the relationship between the main character, played by Dwayne Johnson, and the gorilla named George, which is why I made that Curious George joke at the beginning of my video. And like how he gets this genetic editing and goes like completely insane, and even though they were like really good friends before, and now it's like he has to try to bring George back, and I thought it was fine. Like, it wasn't set up as well as it could have been. So when I was watching the trailers, I was reminded somewhat of Rise of the Planet of the Apes in a way, because it's like an animal character who's intelligent, more intelligent than you would think it would be, who has sort of an emotional connection with a human character, and then that animal character ends up going against the human character in some way, and it's sort of the emotion. Their relationship is sort of the emotional backbone of the movie. So it kind of reminded me of that, except the big difference is it doesn't really work nearly as well. In Rise of the Planet of the Apes, it worked so well that I was actually in tears in a scene in that movie, in Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I don't know how many other people can say that they cried during a Planet of the Apes movie, but I did. I watched it last summer sometime. I did actually do a review on that. Because in a movie like that, it's actually sort of well set up. You sort of see where, when when Caesar was born, and him growing up, and learning different things, showing the progression of him learning the sign language, and him sort of growing up with that human character, and you kind of see them bonding over time, and he helps fight against his father's like dementia and stuff, and you get this setup. Like, the first like half of the movie or so is just the setup of the two characters' bonds, of Caesar and I forget the main character's name, but so you feel that emotion when it comes on later. Not on this, it's like there's like one or two scenes to kind of set up their relationship between Dwayne Johnson and George. and that's about it, and you kind of just get the sense of, oh, they're really good friends, and they have this sort of bond with each other. And it's also set up that apparently Dwayne Johnson's character prefers to hang out with animals than he does humans. He thinks humans are cruel and evil, and animals are not, or something, and so he prefers to hang out with animals. I don't know, it's whatever. Yeah, so again, that was something I've always been kind of comparing this to. Like, even when I was seeing the trailers, I was thinking it was a similar type of thing as to, like, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Obviously, they don't care about it as much in this movie. They're just kind of like, oh, we just want some big, dumb fun of monsters fighting each other. And, again, you get that. So yeah, there's my whole spiel on comparing it to Rise of the Planet of the Apes and why Rise of the Planet of the Apes is way better at doing the whole, emotional connection between human character and animal character that complicates things later on in the story when, animal character sort of goes against humans in a way. That type of story. But anyways, yeah, there's the rest of the movie's mediocre. Villain characters, there's a couple villain characters in this. Every scene with them is just annoying, and I don't like them. And you could have had the movie without them. They tried to set up this whole thing where, like, there's this whole plot of these characters trying to use this whole genetic editing thing to their advantage, monetarily, blah, 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 nobody cares. Like, it would have been fine if the whole science experiment thing was just an accident, and then all of these animals converged on one point in the city and had a big fight by the end of the movie. You don't really need those villain characters who are sort of orchestrating the whole thing. It just felt pointless and thrown in there just to give you somebody to root against it, I guess. Whatever. It's not horrible. It's fine. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about this movie. Is it, Dwayne Johnson's fine in it. I like Dwayne Johnson. He has a certain level of charm to him that makes him very likable in every movie he's in. He brings that, so, of course, it's Dwayne Johnson. He's likable, and that's, the way Dwayne Johnson is. So, I enjoy Dwayne Johnson's charisma in any movie he's in. So, I like that. But, that's just the way he is, so that's expected. Again, movie doesn't do anything special, anything. It's all it is. You get some boring setup and then fight between big monsters. There's your movie. If that sounds entertaining to you, go see it. I don't know how long it's going to be playing for because I'm watching it pretty late. If it doesn't sound entertaining to you, don't see it. There's your recommendation. Anyways, that's really all I have to say about the movie. I had my whole spiel about comparing it to Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which I know doesn't seem fair because these movies are on completely different levels. Like, Rise of the Planet of the Apes is trying to be a big, smart, really well-made movie, whereas this is just trying to be a dumb, fun movie, so it's kind of not fair to compare them. But, I don't know, it's just a comparison I noticed whenever I saw all the trailers and when I was actually watching the movie, so I thought I'd just bring it up. There you go. Anyways, that's about all I can say for that, so let me know in the comments what you think of the movie if you saw it, and yeah, I'd love to hear what you would say about it. But anyways, that is about all for this video, so thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.
Ladies, I spoil loyal fans. I foil your plans and leave fluids leaking like oil pans. My coiled hands around this microphone are lethal. One thought in my cerebral is deeper than a jeep full of people. MCs are feeble. I came to cause some pandemonium. Battle a band of phony MCs, a stand alone one. Imitator, intimidator, stimulator, simulator of data.